Recently covered the new Turtle Beach Atlas Air and the new Turtle Beach Stealth 600 Gen 3s. Continuing on with the Turtle Beach Extravaganza, today we're covering the Stealth 500s. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell because we'll also be covering the new Turtle Beach keyboard and gaming mice. So let's go ahead and dive into the Stealth 500s. You all know I'm going to kick it off with comfort and put them on a scale. We're getting right at 234 grams. Very nice and lightweight. As far as the ear pads here, they are fully pleather inside and out. You do have some perforated holes in there if you can see that in the camera. As far as dimensions, pretty much standard what we see with Turtle Beach. They do use that weird shape right there, but you got plenty of length, plenty of width, and also plenty of depth right there. The biggest downfall is, again, they are fully pleather, and yes, your ears are going to get spicy in them. Coming up here to the headband, you got this elastic band with 2 or 3 adjustable notches on each side, and that's pretty much your height adjustment there. And it feels very nice. It just floats up there. The one thing I wish it was a little bit wider because, again, it's kind of a small headband, and you might feel it resting on you up there. My personal preference is I just wish it was a little bit wider. Now coming over here to the ear cups, no swivel or anything, but your ear cups do go in and out. So as far as comfort of this headset, it's kind of in the middle of the road. Number one being that small headband. Out of the gate, that's the first thing I noticed. Is like, I wish that was a little bit wider. It's not uncomfortable or unbearable by any means. Again, I just wish it was wider so it was distributed more across my head. And I probably feel that more because I have a bald head. You got hair, you're probably not going to notice that as much. But anyways, as far as adjustment, I got it on the full notch over here on the left side and halfway notch over here. So I'm almost maxed out already, and that's how it sits on my head. So if you got a very big head, I don't think this is really going to work out for you. The second thing, not even being swivel, because it's such a lightweight headset and it almost sits into its place. You feel a little bit more pressure up here in the front. Not bad for glasses wearers because I always game with glasses. But again, the swivel's not even so much an issue, even though that's something I always want. The biggest thing are these ear cups. They are just uncomfortable. I couldn't stand them. They're hot, they're spicy, they're going to hold in that sweat, and they play a big role into the sound as well. So what I recommend you doing is just peeling them off. Super easy. They come off right there, and get yourself a set of Wicked cushions. These are just the universal pads. They're a little bit of a pain in the tuchus to get on because, again, Turtle Beach uses that little angle there. Once you do get your Wicked cushions on over here, I mean, it's night and day, and it plays a very positive role in the sound as well, which I'll talk about in the sound segment. Now let's go ahead and talk about the build of this headset. As you saw in the comfort, there's really not much adjustability in this. You got no swivel or anything. The entire headset being lightweight is, yes, all plastic, which again, I'll take all day long, a lightweight plastic headset. But the build of this is questionable and scary. So you got the arm going up here, which is one complete piece going around the headband. It doesn't adjust here or anything. Again, you just got that adjustment bit inside there. But then if the camera can pick this up, you see it goes inside there. And there's one little plastic arm inside of that bit where it bends out, and then it's just latching in there. So taking this headset on and off, you're going to continuously go like this. You know, I like to twist my headsets up, and when I do this, I get incredibly nervous over there. Of course, you're not going to be doing with your headset, right? Why I do this is I'd rather break mine than you break yours and show you where the weak point is. But again, even though it's not breaking on me here, I get incredibly nervous about this arm. Not so much up here even, just that one little bracket that's inside there, how this ear cup goes in and out. My gosh, it scares the heck out of me. So the build is questionable on this headset for sure. Like right out of the box when I looked at it and I saw that mechanism in, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to break, you know what I mean? But again, I can sit here, twist it up, and nothing's breaking, but mamma mia, am I nervous doing that. Now let's go and take a look at the features and functions on this headset, and then we'll roll right into the microphone test, starting off with the Bluetooth mic test, and I'll show you the app in the phone, and then we'll plug in the dongle, and we'll get that 2.4 mic test as well. But I want to show you the controls on the headset. The first wheel up here is your volume, which tops out at the highest and bottoms out at the lowest. Then you got your game to chat wheel here, and I want to point something out. If you watched my Stealth 600 Gen 3 review, these wheels were a big fault for me because if I was sitting back in the couch or something, my head would go back and it would constantly move these wheels. It just drove me nuts. I will tell you, you do not get that issue here on these because you got that little notch that sticks out of them if you can see in the camera there, but also these wheels are smaller and they're in there quite a bit firmer compared to the 600s. So I definitely like this implementation a whole lot better than the 600s. That drove me nuts. Right below that, you have your Bluetooth Bluetooth and quick switch button, because yes, you do have Bluetooth, but it's not simultaneous. It's one or the other. Unless you're in 2.4 and you get a phone call, it will come right to the headset, but it is not simultaneous Bluetooth. Right below that, you have your mode button, which is going to let you cycle through 4 preset EQs, which I'll show you in the app. You got your USB-C charge port, which you get up to 40 hours of battery life on this headset. Your power button here, and then your microphone, which just flips down, flips up to mute, and you got that little kick in front as well. All right, so let's go ahead and kick it off with the microphone test here. And I want to start with the Bluetooth one, showing you the Swarm software and the app on my iPhone, which I know you saw this in the 600s and the Atlases, but it's a little bit different here on the 500s with some similarities. As you see, you got your superhuman hearing there. This chat boost is available when you're connected via the transmitter. You got your gain presets, which you do have that mode button on the headset, which you can cycle through these. Signature, bass, bass and treble, and then vocal boost. And again, this can be adjusted right on the headset. Coming over here to microphone, as you see, you got mute, which you can touch like that, or flip it up on the headset, which you get a tone in the headset if you touch that button, or if you flip it up in the headset itself. Microphone right now is set to around 85. It doesn't give you number adjustments on the app, which I wish it did, or at least maybe notches to let you know what setting you're at. But anyways, I'd say right now we're at maybe 80%. We'll come down here if I can get it. Now we're down to maybe around 5 or 10%. Let's go halfway and see what I sound like around the halfway point. You're hearing the microphone there. Then I'll go ahead and crank it all the way up to 100 just to see what that sounds like. And as far as my room, I'm going to get back to 80%. I got a fan on, my door's open, my son's watching TV. So again, just kind of like a real environment type of microphone test so you can hear that. And if you're hearing any noise, we got the noise gate. And we'll go ahead and hit that to maybe around 10% there. And again, anything I touch in here, I get a tone in the headset. Let's go ahead and crank noise gate to 50%. And I've noticed using noise gate on previous mic tests on the 600s and Atlas, it really cut out a lot of the sound. And you'll notice that when I crank it up to 100 here. So now the noise gate is set to 100. And again, it just, I don't know, it just made me start sounding pretty choppy. I really wasn't a fan of it. Say if you tone it down here maybe to a manageable 25%. If I bang on my table, what is it cutting anything out? I don't know. I didn't like it in the previous mic test. Mic monitoring, you have it here. Again, at 100%, you sound very airy, very SteelSeries microphone-ish. If you come down here to, say, around 70, 80%, a little bit better, but still kind of airy. If I come down here to, like, I don't know, when I say this, 60%, I hear myself a little bit. It's very faint, but I still just get that airiness in the background. It's not a real natural. If you come down here to lower, so you want to like cut out that airiness, like I don't hear myself at all right now. So the mic monitoring, you have it, but it's not the best. Again, it just sounds very tinny and very airy. So I caught myself not wanting to use it. Over here you got your voice prompts, or those tones that I've been telling you in the headset I've been hearing. And whenever you switch to Bluetooth to 2.4, it lets you know what you're in. Auto shut off. And then, of course, your transmitter, what you're connected in here, and then the LED brightness, which when you adjust this one, go all the way down to the bottom, it also doesn't turn fully off, kind of like we saw on the Atlas, but the 600s did. So again, there's been a lot of updates within the software here, so one to the other, I'm sure it's going to happen in all of them, but again, one to the other is a little bit different. Again, they're doing many updates across all these products here. And then, of course, your settings within here. So that is the Bluetooth microphone and the Swarm 2 software. All right, so now you are hearing the microphone connected via 2.4, the dongle. And the weird thing, while you're looking at the software here, which you can't use on the PC on the 500s, as you see, it's just for the app. But the weird thing is, whenever I plugged it into my MacBook, it wouldn't work the dongle like it registered. Active5 would allow it. It said yes, but it wouldn't come up as an active device. So kind of strange that it wouldn't work on a Mac. That's kind of weird. Most headsets always work on Mac if they work on something else. So a little bit strange right here. And then on the software, it shows my battery always dead. But as you saw in the app, I got plenty of juice in there. So really weird. But again, this is the microphone connected 2.4. And no, you cannot use the software in the PC. It's all controlled through the app. So after looking over the features and functions, listening to the microphone of this headset, a couple weird things. Number one, how it wouldn't work on my Mac. And the other thing you're noticing is on the app function, number one, not being able to control it on PC. but also the app functions are limited. You didn't have the microphone adjustment like we had on the 600s or the Atlas, and I get it. These companies have got to have their high end, their mid, and then their low tier gaming headsets or their budget ones, and that's what you have right here. So maybe they're just gatekeeping some of those settings from us, which just feels weird because it's just an app, or again, controlling it on the PC. It seems like you'd have more or less, you'd focus on the build and then what the feature or the headset is packing rather than blocking you from an app control there. You know, it's just almost like a Tesla car, right? You can have this feature, but you got to pay more for it. So I don't know. Is that the way gaming headsets are heading? Kind of a weird thing right there. It's not something I like to see, but again, it's still packing quite a bit for the features and functions for the low-end wireless headset. Now let's go and talk about the sound of the Stealth 500s. And as you see, I have my wiki cushions out here because this is going to play a big part into the sound of this headset. But at the core, 40mm drivers, frequency range of 20 to 20,000, kind of similar to what we saw on, or actually the exact same as what we saw on the Stealth 600s there. And that is, at the core, the sound you got with the Stealth 500s. Little bit bassy and mid-drawn right there. Definitely that warmer sound, fuller sound, more immersive. But you got some of the highs over here, but I would say those bass and mids kind of, I don't want to say overtook them and became muddy by any means, but if the bass and mids are performing, your highs are trying to perform up here, and they wouldn't get as high as I personally would want, right? I want that really dialogue, or I'm playing Star Wars and I want to hear my lightsaber kind of slashing across there, but the bass and mids would still be sitting here performing at their max when the trebles are trying to peak up there. I wouldn't say they drown them out, but again, they're right there almost competing, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't recommend this for FPS by any means, but again, for a story game, myself playing Diablo, Destiny, and a lot of Star Wars Jedi Survivor, really had a good time with it, and it did everything I wanted. Again, cycling those EQs through there. I caught myself using signature sound on this one, when on some of the other ones I used bass and treble boost. I caught myself really enjoying signature sound on this. Now, again, as far as the core sound, pretty much just like the 600s, but where this really came into play and I had a whole lot more fun with it is when I slapped my wiki cushions on. This isn't a sponsor, nothing like that, but the difference here is whenever I took this headset and I got those pleather pads, it locks in that sound, so that bass and mids is going to be held in there a whole lot more, be very closed in and a little bit more full, but also these pads are a lot softer, and once your ears heat up and that heats up, they close in a little bit more, and those drivers are right on your ears. So again, you know, those bass and mids and everything, they're just getting closer and closer and more impactful on you, and you notice that. So coming over, when I slap on my wiki cushions, number one, it's a thicker pad. Now you do have, these are the cooling gel, so you got the gel on the top and the inside, so it is going to hold in some of that sound still, not going to let it breathe out, but they are universal, so if you want that, you can get it. But talking about the experience I had here, it kept the drivers further from my ear, and then I had that cloth on there, so they stayed cooler right along with the cooling gel, you know, and the sound, it just performed better. That bass and mids that I told you was definitely prominent right there. Like, you still had it, but it, again, gave it that little bit of a space, if that makes sense. I still had my treble up here, but the bass was down here. Before it was like right here, right with it. When I put my wiki cushions on, it brought it down here. Everyone always asks, do they change the sound profile? Some headsets they do, some headsets they don't. This one, they definitely did for the better, for sure. Now, again, you're talking $30, whatever, for a set of wiki cushions. So once you get into this bracket, should you just go with the 600, you would be asking. Well, again, I think these pads will be better on the 600s as well. But I can't stand pleather pads, and I think these do not complement the sound very good. It just makes it, again, too full. And that's coming from someone that likes that full immersive sound. So if you get this headset, trust me, and snag you some wicked cushions. Now, this is definitely the hardest part of the review on the Stealth 500s for myself here, at least, is the value. This headset's going to come in at $80, and it's packing a lot for, again, a budget gaming headset, right? The one thing I don't like is the build. But again, take care of your stuff and you'll probably be fine. But over time, we're going to see how that bracket fares. That makes me a little bit worried there. But talking $80, again, losing some of the features like on the PC control or then the app controls. And when you come over here and look at the 600s we just covered, you got the dongle that you can switch as well and use it on multiple platforms. You got more features in the app. And then again, you got PC features. And the sound and functions, again, you got a lot of the same across all of them. And it really makes the 600 shine. You're talking 80 or 100. Well, just spend that 20 extra bucks and get this over here. But the biggest thing, I will tell you, is the 500s, for me at least, are much more comfortable, maybe when I got my Wicked cushions on, than the 600s. The 600s, that clamping force was a little bit too tight, and again, it just bothered me, and that headband was horrible. So again, the comfort over here was not good. The comfort on this was definitely much better, and that would sell me, but again, the price difference is so close that it just makes it tough. Let me know what you would do in the comments. You spend less over here, even though the build's kind of questionable. Spend more, I know you get more features, but the comfort's not as good. Or better yet, we can go buy the absolutely amazing Atlas Airs. So thank you so much for coming by for my review of these Stealth 500s. I hope it was able to help you out, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye now.